Hello and welcome to the Manifest to Live Life Golden Show. I'm Golden Duffy. This is season 2, episode 11. This is how to get out of the low vibes and follow your highest excitement. I've had a lot of manifestation things going on and I'm going to share them all today, but I want to just dive in and talk first about your mind and how your mind, many of us are just way too subject to that mind, and we tune into the frequencies that the mind hands to us. Those 60,000 thoughts a day that the mind just keeps giving us one after another, those addictive thoughts, those neural pathways, those downloads of hormones and chemicals that make you focus on things that do not elevate your excitement. They actually bring you down. They actually make you feel less than. They make you feel things that you're saying you no longer want to feel. And the problem with that, the challenge with that is when you tune into these low frequencies and you're a victim to the mind and you're just subject and allowing the mind to give you things to work on, problems, dissatisfactions. The issue and challenge with that is it doesn't put you in a high vibration. And because of that, you are subject to the lower vibration of life and the things and the problems and the challenges and the complainers and all the things that go wrong on a lower vibrational plane. So we have to learn how to elevate ourselves. We have to learn how to tune into appreciation and gratitude and love. And I'm going to give you those tips and tools. And they're, probably things that I've said a million times, but I will say them differently today. And I have a new understanding of this manifestational power because of the experience that I've just had in the last couple of weeks. So understand your vibration, your frequency. You're like a big radio station. You are setting the tone every moment of every day. So the second you wake up in the morning, you're setting the tone. And often that tone has to do with how you slept last night, how you went to bed the night before. That's why it's so important to marinate before you go to sleep. Think about your dreams, think about your goals, think about the things that you really want to manifest, because you've got that 7 or 8 hours to really to amplify that energy overnight. Neville Goddard talks a lot about falling asleep in a state where you are actually engaging with the visualizations of your future, of what you actually want to manifest. So it's a very powerful time right before you fall asleep. It's also the alpha state, which the Silva method teaches. The alpha state, which is the state before you fall asleep and the state when you're just upon waking. Those are very powerful states to use your mind for manifestation. So when you start to really grasp and you start to really understand that this thing is really powerful, that your mind is super powerful, and that your feelings and your emotions underneath are the driving forces, right? Emotions are energy in motion. When you start to really grasp that, and gain some sort of control over it. You can grasp it and still be a maniac. You can grasp it and still be yelling at people all the time. You have to become aware and mindful to the point where you have control over your conduction. So what you focus on expands. Yesterday I had first thing in the morning. So I came back from vacation on Sunday at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, we got home. And Monday, I was just so tired. For me, jet lag is real. I believe it. My body tells me that I'm exhausted. And even though we kind of kept our hours the same, Tuesday, I woke up a little bit late, didn't go to the gym, and just feel energetically, I'm a little kicked down just from all the excitement, from all the fun we had, from all the things we manifested. And it's back to reality, right? Back to work. I had 2 shows to do yesterday. If you haven't tuned into the Golden Hour yet, please do. You can find it actually live on my YouTube channel. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, it will actually show you when I'm going live, which is at noon Pacific on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm interviewing some of the coolest people. I interviewed my amazing friend, James. He is a hypnotist. He's so incredible. And we had so much fun yesterday. We talked about laughter as medicine, and we had some disguises, and it was really, really fun. So you want to tune into that. You want to see that. It's also on E360 TV. If you go to Achieve TV, you'll find the Golden Hour. But that is just more information, more content, and more connection that I'm having with the energy field and people and the things that they're bringing forth. My show tomorrow on Thursday is about death. It's a conversation about death and really living your life to the fullest and recognizing and acknowledging that one day we are all going to die. It's really a cool conversation with my amazing friend Mary. So tune into that because you're going to get more information, more of this good stuff, and more of me, right? And me, meaning I am sending you an energy transference in every one of my shows. I am an uplifter. I am bringing energy fields that are of the higher vibration. When you listen, you will feel a shift. Now, of course, you have to take part in that, right? Like I can't just give you this magic pill and you take it and you feel good forevermore. You have to be diligent and determined and actually apply the things that I talk about. So what you focus on expands. So yesterday I woke up and I was feeling a little low. I won't lie to you ever about the way I feel sometimes. And I was really feeling resistance around work and getting back to shows. And there's a lot that goes into the TV show and the podcast that I've been really hitting very hard for the last month or two, both of these things. So I'm feeling some resistance and I'm feeling a little low. And I said to my husband, I'm like, oh man, I got to get out of this. Plus, California has been under cloud cover for like at least a month or two. It's just been crazy. Now, I was in Vegas and Connecticut, so I had a lot of sunshine. So that shouldn't really be my excuse. But the clouds, for whatever reason, you can really feel the dense energy. I'm very, very subject to dense energy. In fact, I get headaches and I have some tightness in my shoulders when the barometric pressure is really low. So that was going on when I woke up yesterday morning. So I went on Facebook, and never before have I seen this person on my Facebook feed. There was a woman who was talking about how circumstances went down and she ended up homeless with her husband and her son, and they've been living in their car, and she was looking for some money or connections, and it immediately shifted me. It was so interesting. I really felt like it was a message from the universe, like, hey, you need to appreciate what you got going on here. You are back home in your beautiful home with your wonderful children. By the way, my kids are amazing. When I leave them home, my daughter literally organizes my whole house. Like my house was spotless. She reorganized my closet, my refrigerator, my freezer. I come home and things are like more put together than when I left. And that is incredible. So I was feeling very grateful for her and our relationship and the connection that I have with all of my children, which is amazing. So I started going into gratitude. And this is what I noticed. I immediately shifted. And it was thankfully right before my husband left. And I just said, I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful for our life. And he was like, so am I. And we just kind of had that exchange. And then I had that exchange with my daughter. And I was like, I know it's cloudy. I know the clouds are tough on us. I know it's like, but we have to not have this circumstantial happiness. We have to have this not have this situational happiness where we are allowing our outside forces to bring us to a certain place. We have the ability to rise above it. And then today I realized, and so yesterday was great. And today I was in quite a bit of gratitude this morning as well. I went to the gym. I felt really good. I came home. I've been working on some stuff. I was excited to do the podcast today to share all this great stuff that's been happening and help to tune you into it as well. And I realized, okay, I'm going to meditate because there's no sunshine once again today. So it's like, oh, I've got the sunshine in my mind. I'm going to go inside. And I said to both my girls when they left for work today, I'm like, we have to be the sunshine for people right now. We have to shine our lights even brighter than ever before because the world, people struggle when the weather is like this. So we have to be the ones to shine the light. And so helping them to shift that and to feel that. And we were laughing and having a good time. So the more you focus on the higher vibrations, the greater things happen to you. So higher vibrations, highest vibration is appreciation and love. When you focus on those things, the things that satisfy you, the things that are good in your life, it can be so simple, you guys. It can be as simple as a flower. Right now, my geraniums are going nuts outside because they've been rained on and they're loving that. So they're exploding. So every time I look out my kitchen window, I just see these gorgeous flowers. Nature is one of those things that we can really connect with the simplest little things, like your cup of coffee. And my cup of coffee in the morning can always get me going because I just love it. And it's just like so delicious and so wonderful. My kitties, cuddling with my little kittens, my kitties, once I got home, like they've been very snuggly. The simplest little things, the love in a loved one's eyes, a hug. Hugs are so good for you. They actually instill a better immune system. Hugging, they make you feel good. They definitely put you in a higher vibe when you are hugging and loving someone else. Doing kind things for people, right? The helper's high. We've all heard about that. It puts you in a state of higher vibration when you hold the door for someone, or you let someone go in traffic, or you have kindness and you share a laugh at the grocery store. All of those things are vibration raising. Now, if you're in a low vibration, it's a little bit harder to get to those higher vibrations. You can't go from depression to joy. It's just too far of a leap. So you got to do it incrementally. And incrementally just means you feel a little bit better. So you're feeling low one day and you just kind of let yourself feel low. Not being in resistance to it actually helps it move faster. You do some journaling, you get that stuff out of your body, you do some dumping. This is how I feel and I want to let it go and I want to release it. Ask for the release. We've got this non-physical support here to help us. So ask for that energy to just leave you. It's absolutely incredible what happens when we do that. So you have to stop being a victim to your stinking thinking, right? That shitty committee. You got to stop tuning into it. I was talking to my daughter this morning, and she's been trying to actually sever a relationship with a boy that she's known for 4 years. And a man, I guess, a young man. And she's like, I just keep thinking about him. And I said, babe, that's a frequency. It's just like addiction, right? Like when we tune into, oh, I want a glass of wine. When we said we weren't going to have a glass of wine today, when we tune into that frequency, what happens is a momentum starts, and then the universe keeps giving us reasons to want that glass of wine, or that, whatever it is, your drug of choice. It's just like that. So when you tune into the frequencies, just be prepared that you're going to get more. It's just like sugar or candy or chips. You start thinking about them and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to have that. And that's where you end up derailing yourself, because you were not good at interrupting the thoughts that actually derail the identity of who you say you want to be. It's just like things when you're thinking about financial challenges or financial struggles. The more you tune into the anxiety and the worry and trying to figure things out, the more you're going to keep yourself broke. I promise. That's a big one. You have to find abundance in your field. You got to look for wonderful things. You got to look for happiness. You got to look for joy. That's where abundance is. It's where love and appreciation is. So we got to interrupt the low vibe thoughts of doubts, fears, anxieties, and worst case scenarios. And you have to interrupt them like the second they drop into your mind. The second that mind gives it to you, you have to interrupt it, because what happens is, with law of attraction, remember this wave behind me, that once that wave starts, right, 16, 17 seconds, another thought like it joins it. By 68 seconds, you have evoked emotion. That wave starts going, and you have physical manifestation. So first is always awareness, mindfulness. How am I feeling? What am I thinking about? What am I thinking about that's driving those thoughts? And is what I'm thinking about going to bring me down or up? It's that simple. It's that freaking simple. And if I'm having a really challenging time with my thoughts, I will do something to change it. You can go for a run. You can go for a walk. You can play music. You can watch a funny movie. There are things in your experience that could actually shift you. I've had videos from Instagram Reels shift me. I had a lady that was talking about, I've come too far to fail. I've worked too hard for this not to work. That got me out of all of my doubts on a particular day. So stop making assumptions that things will turn out bad for you. When you're doing that, you're bringing yourself into a low vibe. Stop reacting in fear by saying, well, I'm afraid this will happen, so I have to respond this way. Anytime you respond in fear or desperation and you say, well, I don't want this to happen, so I'm going to try to avoid it. You are actually including it into your vibration. So anytime you resist something, it persists. So that's why you have to be really diligent about focusing on what you actually want to happen. Whenever you move from desperation, you are actually densifying the field. Know what that means? Okay, densifying the field means we create heavy energy. And anytime I have witnessed myself or others in my experience doing something out of desperation, it always ends up being really hard and challenging. I have seen my children, my husband, myself do things out of desperation for money, and it gets you money, but it usually comes hard and it's usually not enjoyable. It's definitely not in the realm of highest excitement. All right. So what does it mean to act on your highest excitement? So hold on. I'm going to put up my Mindfulness Secrets Daily Guide and Journal. I've shared this before, but this is my book. I actually have it with me today. Look at that. Really proud of this cover. I freaking love it. Like, look at this thing. I mean, it's just gorgeous to have on your coffee table. But this is a journaling book that has 100 pages of content that will help you to shift out of things and to release things, let go of resentments, forgive people. It's really good guide. Find it on Amazon. You have to actually search for the whole freaking title and my name to find it. But it's a tool. It's a tool to help you raise your vibration. So I would get on that if I were you. Journaling is a great way to connect with what you really want and to actually put your order in with the universe, right? Writing is the strongest form of focus. Okay. So, connecting with your highest excitement, like what even is that? What is your highest excitement? It is connecting with your inner guidance and truth. So, when you are connecting to your highest excitement, you are actually asking yourself at a deeper core level, what would actually bring me joy right now? Following your highest excitement means you are in the flow of life. Placing yourself in a high vibration whenever possible and asking allows you to connect with that truth, that internal guidance, that intuition that will bring you more things like it. So when we act on our intuition, when we really connect with the energy field, on the flow, highest excitement is always going to be a flow. We're actually putting ourselves in a different vibrational plane than when we're doing the mundane. It means that you're following your true desire and trusting that it is possible to do so. So living in that energy of highest excitement means you trust, right? Like you trust. You don't live from obligations and people pleasing because you're not trying to get love that way because you're whole and you're filled up and you know who you are. You're trusting other people's journeys when you're backing away from people pleasing. You're going, okay, it's not in my highest excitement to do this today. And this sounds selfish, right? Like we've been taught not to be selfish, not to do what's good for us, but to do what's good for other people. And where has that gotten us? Huh? Where has it gotten you? It's gotten a lot of people in like major resentments. That's for freaking sure, for real, for sure. All right. So the things that derail you are the people pleasing, the guilt, the feeling selfish, totally ignoring what you want, obligation, feeling like you owe people something. So I had a situation yesterday, and hopefully you people don't judge me, but I don't really care. So my daughter, when we were away, one of my daughters connected with somebody on TikTok, and she's a girl who's traveling across the country and she is doing some commissioned art for people. And basically she's just decided to live in her car and the kindness of strangers and just make her way. She's in California for a couple weeks and then I think she's going somewhere else. So while I was gone, she had this girl stay over a few times without asking, which was fine. But I was kind of preparing myself for the situation because, we have a 4-bedroom house and we have an office in one of our bedrooms. So the only place for people to sleep is in our loft, which is where we watch TV. It's like it's kind of our living room at night. And we have a nice little bed in there, pull out bed for when our kids come. So, she had gone hiking with her and they were having a good time and she sent me pictures and stuff. And last night she said to me, "Hey, Mom, I want to have this girl, can this girl sleep over?" And I said no. And she was really mad at me. And she was like, you're not right and you're not kind. And my husband said the same thing, like, where's the compassion? And I really listened to my internal guidance, which wasn't easy because it wasn't the popular thing to do, right? Like the popular thing for me to do would be like, oh yes, of course, like any stranger anytime, right? Like, come on in, right? Come into Mama Duffy's house, like here's a hug, right? Like that's my MO. Like that's who I used to be. That was my personality, was to do a lot of things for a lot of people and to feel resentment. However, where I am in my life right now is I'm giving a lot of energy. I'm putting out a lot of energy into the world. I am interested in creating a huge effect right now. So I'm looking at doing some live seminars and workshops and travel. And right now, I did not feel like having someone in my home was something that would actually be good for me, because I am working on, kind of honing things in and getting really clear about my messages and what I want to share. So I had a little hard time last night. She got a little mad at me. And the more I thought about it, the more I felt right about my decision. And she didn't push it, which is always an indication of the energy field for me as well. She didn't beg me. She just kind of shut down, went to bed, told her I loved her. And then the next morning I was extremely loving, felt like she felt, a little off to me this morning. And I just bombarded her with love. I love bombed her. And the more I thought about it this morning, the more I felt good. Like, this is what I needed to do right now. This is, first of all, I don't owe this girl anything. She chose this path for herself, right? I don't owe her anything because she decided to go across the country with no home and no plan and no place to stay. I'm not going to make that my problem. You know what I mean? So guilt free. It was really guilt free. And it wasn't like I really didn't. And mind you, I have in the past, now I didn't want to come from a past experience, but we have taken people in for months at a time. And I did not like that feeling of someone being in my home and me not really having control over that because I had no choice. Felt felt like I had no choice because they didn't have anywhere else to go. So I really didn't want to be in that situation again. So I said no, and I felt really good about it. So pay attention to that, because if we're really listening to our inner guidance, my highest excitement was not to wake up to some stranger on my bed this morning that I needed to communicate with, connect with, dance around, whatever. It wasn't in my highest excitement. So I said no. So hello, whatever, right? Like, we got to do what we feel called to do and not live from this obligatory state. I'm so over the obligation. I really am so over that obligation. Okay. So you must let go of low vibrational ways of thinking in order to live in the lighter energies of life, which is what I did. I didn't dip my vibration a little bit last night. I felt a little bit attacked from my family, and I thought, hey, that's their deal. Like, I'm going to do what feels right for me. And I have no shame about that. There's no shame over here. I'm really sensitive lately to people trying to shame me, because I'm just like, hey, I'm human. I'm doing what feels right to me. I'm not going to be shamed about that. Okay. All right. So I want to share some of the stuff that has been going on with me, and I'm going to kind of bring in some tips and tricks as I do it. So I've been in a really high vibration lately. I've met some amazing people through my Golden Hour show. I had this incredible man who has connected me with some of the best people I've ever met, like super inspiring, motivational. Watch the TV show and you will see. Like my friend Luke, oh my goodness, he was on, I forget which exact episode he was on, but he was the coach. He's like a personal trainer coach. And ever since I met Luke, like, I'm out of my resistance with working out. And I like, this morning, I argued with myself for 20 minutes. I don't usually do this. It's always challenging to get back into workout after vacation, especially when you have jet lag. And this morning I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I had Luke's voice in my head. So if you need any kind of body personal training motivation, Luke Hayfelt is your guy. You can find him on the Golden Hour, or he's on Instagram, but definitely watch that show. It was super inspiring. So I got all these great people. I'm Zooming with them every day. I'm in a really high vibe. I'm waking up fulfilled every day in my purpose, excited about what's coming. I'm looking to do seminars and workshops. So I got invited to go to this seminar workshop with Dr. Joel, and Dr. Joel Sharp was on one of my shows, and he's amazing at teaching healing of the body. That was also a really great show on the Golden Hour. And he invited me to come to this workshop where he was going to be teaching people, to do what I do and make a lot of money and this and that. And it was in Vegas. And I had to make a decision about going by myself. Now, going by myself is out of my comfort zone. I will not lie. I love having my husband there. I love him navigating all of my travel. I love him driving. I love him booking hotels. Like, he has always done that for us. And I realized how I've been shorting myself by being afraid to do things on my own. So he had no interest in going to this workshop. And thank goodness he didn't, because it really had nothing to do with him. And I really needed to go for myself. So what ended up happening was I met this other woman, and she's going to be on my show in a couple weeks, Jody, in Vegas. And she actually, we had connected like the week before. She offered for me to stay in her place, and she was leaving for vacation that day, and she let me stay at her place. So if you're watching the energy field, I'm like, yes, I'm going to go to Vegas. Didn't really love staying in a hotel by myself. And then this woman offered her place, and I was like, it's a done deal. Like, it's a no-brainer. The energy is telling me that it's time, right? It's like to do this on my own, drive to Vegas, navigate the whole thing. And it was so good for me. It's so good for you to do things out of your comfort zone, people. It's so good. The experiences that we get, the energy, the awareness, the just being stronger in doing things like that is so good for us. It widens and expands and grows us. So I go to the seminar. It was fantastic. I loved all the people that I met. I made some incredible connections. In fact, a guy, he's going to be on my show, hopefully soon, Dr. Ben, he teaches, oh my gosh, he helps people heal through smoothies. And I'm like on a smoothie run right now. I just love smoothies. So he walked in, and we're friends on Instagram. So that was crazy. I'm like, hey, I know you. But Dr. Joel was he was just Dr. Joel, Dr. Josh. I can't believe I've been calling him Joel. Okay, his name is Josh. I'm human. Hello. A lot has happened since then. So I got up at 3:00 in the morning. I went to the gym first, and then I drove to Vegas. Had this great trip, great seminar. And then on the day, it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. It was supposed to go till Saturday. Well, right before this, like right when I decided I was going to go, another trip manifested, and this one came out of nowhere. So a week before, my husband said to me, hey, it would be so cool to go back to Connecticut, our hometown, our home state, and work on this project with my daughter. So my daughter's been doing this project with my husband's old boss, and it's at a celebrity's home. I'm not going to say who it is, but at a celebrity's home. And they were building this 51-foot stage to do performances, to do acting classes, like super cool. And my husband has actually worked at this man's house before. And he said it'd be super cool to go back there and work with them. And they needed help. So I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. I totally go to Connecticut, like no problem. Let's just go. So, so we talked about it a little bit. And then my friend that I grew up with, and I know I shared this before, but this is how the whole thing transpired. Her trip to Iceland got canceled because her husband's passport wasn't correct. So I start thinking about it just like 3 or 4 days before. I start thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? And what is my highest excitement? That's what I asked. What is my highest excitement? And I thought, you know what? I really want to go to Florida and see my girlfriend. My husband and my daughter are going to be working all week. I would rather go to Florida and be with my friend who's visited me several times. So I feel like I really need to go see her. And I texted my husband that, like, from the gym that morning. I had this inspiration, and I come home from the gym, and I thought for sure he'd just be like, no, we're not going to do that. Cause I was like, I'm going to go to Florida, and then I'll fly to Connecticut so I can see Jade as well. So I came home, and he was like, I already asked your friend, and she said she can't do it. She has to work. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So we talk, and we realize that so she's like, yeah, I can move some stuff around. I'm like, I can move some stuff around. I can do all my shows ahead of time. And so we start getting a little bit excited, and she goes, my highest excitement, hello, would be for us both to go back to Connecticut and go through our old neighborhoods and be in our old town and really do that together. I've dreamt about that for a long time. I'm like, wow, okay. My husband's like totally supportive of it. So, so we're trying to figure out where we're going to stay, because my daughter's house isn't big enough. And my daughter says, oh, I can, we have a camper you guys can sleep in. So I said to my friend, I said, oh, I think we can do better. So the next day she messages me, she goes, oh, I think we can remember when you said, I think we can do better? She rented a red Mustang convertible. Crazy. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to find us a great place to stay. So I go on Airbnb and boom, first place that comes up is this lake house. They've never rented it before. It just went under renovation, a little 1-bedroom right in front of the Bantam Lake, which is like 10 minutes from my daughter's house. Boom, we rent that. She books her flight. My husband books our flights. Like it happened so fast. So now all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't stay for the whole seminar in Vegas. I have to leave on Friday, which was fine. It was totally fine. So I'm at the seminar on Friday and I was going to leave. It ended at 5:00 and I was going to leave at 5:00, but I have to leave the next morning for Connecticut and pack and see my girls and the whole thing. So around lunch, so we took a lunch break, and at the lunch break, I suddenly got this. I got to go. Like, I got to leave right now. Traffic, the whole thing. I got to go right now. So that was hard for me. It was hard for me to go up to Josh and explain my situation. And, like often we worry about like he's presenting and it's kind of rude to leave in the middle of his presentation. But at that point in the seminar, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I needed to go home and I needed to do the things that I've been saying I want to do, and I need to just go do it. So I had gotten what I came for and I felt very satisfied, but I had to go tell him. I had to go find him during lunch. I don't know if he was like napping or meditating or whatever. He was refueling and I had to go find him and tell him I was leaving. And that was hard. That was hard. And I said to him, I said, this is hard for me because I normally like kind of do what other people want me to do. And he was like, I understand, I understand. I get it. You have to go. So as soon as I told him that, and this is how you know that you're doing what's right for you, I got this extreme feeling of relief and joy. Incredible feeling of relief and joy. So I get in my car, I start driving. I only get stuck in 20 minutes of traffic. And coming back from Vegas on a Friday, I could have gotten stuck in 2 hours of traffic, like without a doubt, and been home at 10 o'clock versus 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So that was really the best thing for me. And then in the morning, we left for Connecticut, and wow, like what a trip! What a freaking trip! We rented the most beautiful lake house. It was so relaxing and peaceful, and I literally just talked and laughed and had fun. And we went through all of our old neighborhoods, and everything was hilarious and everything was awesome and fun. And we got to be with our I got to have lunch with my husband and my best friend who have known me forever and who have loved me unconditionally forever. I met this woman when I was in kindergarten, and I'm so grateful that we have stood the test of time. She moved to Arizona when I was 13. She lives in Florida now, and we have stayed the closest of friends. And we have a lot of things planned together for the upcoming adventures. So through the course of all this, my husband's working on the job. We go and visit. I get to meet the celebrity, which was super fun. And then he invited us over for dinner. So I went in his hot tub. I went in his sauna. I jumped in his pond. So now the pond water is freezing. And normally I would never do this. Like back in the past, I would never do this. But I have suddenly become a yes girl because I want to expand and grow and I want to experience life to the fullest. So I literally jumped in this freezing cold pond that actually kind of hurt, but it was so exhilarating. And I thought, how cool that now my highest excitement is doing things that call me out of that comfort zone, that allow me to become more, that allow me to live life to the fullest, right? Live life golden. That's what it's all about. Living life to the fullest and no longer letting my mind go, oh gosh, I don't want to drive to Vegas by myself. That's really uncomfortable. Like, I don't know how to do that, right? Like instead of doing that and getting in this car and driving in this convertible all over Connecticut and just being on my own, being independent. I've been with my husband for a long time. We've been together for almost like 40 years. Like my whole life, we've done things together. So having a little bit of independence and living outside of my comfort zone really served me. I really felt like it really serves us to do this. So when you're living from your highest excitement, you're going to be surprised and delighted. You may be, and listen, celebrities they're people, right? But they got a lot of money and they got some cool properties, and it's really fun to share with them and to talk with them and to see what their life has been like. And I love that. Like, I love the expansion and growth of that. And that was like the icing on the cake or the cherry on top of the sundae. Like, I didn't see that one coming. So this is what life will give you when you decide to live from your highest excitement. It will continue to up level the experience. And that's what happens when you tune into the higher frequencies of that experience. I was talking to my friend James the other day on my TV show, and we were talking about abundance and like getting out of financial struggle. For the longest time, I would be in that constriction and feeling like I couldn't breathe and feeling like I couldn't get all my bills paid. For the longest time, it was like that. And a decision had to be made. A decision had to be made around how I was going to feel, how I was going to think, and how I was going to conduct. Because we are truly powerful. You are truly powerful, and you can flow energy in any way you decide. You can rise up to meet the energy field in a whole new way every second of the day. You can decide in every second of the day to either have a thought that brings you down and constricts your energy field, or have a thought that expands and grows you and gets you excited. It's up to you in every single moment. And for me, that's freaking exciting because I'm in control and I know this, and I have a really strong, powerful way of conducting that energy field now that allows me to share it in such a way that it allows you to conduct. And when you conduct, we become more powerful as well. It's that global effect. It's that consciousness, that collective waking up and realizing more. When we get into negative conversations, or we have people around us that are complaining or talking politics. Like, I was in a conversation with some friends and family, and I was like, no judgment, but looking at their life experience and like, wow, they haven't really moved, they haven't really moved the vibration. They're kind of in the same place that I left them 8 years ago. And then taking part in conversations that I go, well, if that's what they're focused on, that's why their life is reflecting that. So we got to be more diligent and more determined about protecting our field and not taking part in those conversations that are going to bring us down, not being addicted to drama. That's a lot of drama. You get some adrenaline and some downloads and some hormones and chemicals going that you may be addicted to. So you're the one that has to decide that you don't want to live that experience anymore, and you got to reach higher. How do you reach higher? Meditate. Here you go. Here's my meditation teaching if you've never meditated before. I also have a group, the M21 M21 Revolution on Facebook, and we have hundreds of videos on there and ways to teach you. But this little teaching will at least get you started and tell you exactly what you need to do to tune into a frequency that allows you to break yourself free from the mind. So you've got space. See, we've got this monkey mind, right? 60,000 thoughts a day. So it's basically like, here's the monkey. Here's your mind. If you're not on YouTube, you're not going to see what I'm doing. So go to YouTube, like and subscribe, for crying out loud, and share it. All right. So here's the mind with your monkey. Okay. And they're really super connected. And in the beginning, you may feel like this, like you can't break free from the monkey. But as you start to practice, right, as you close your eyes and you focus right here on that third eye, you kind of raise your eyeballs a little bit while your eyes are closed, and you focus on your breathing, and you breathe long and slow and deep. As you start to do that, this is what happens. You start to disengage from the mind, and you start to take your power back. And then once you have some space, then you can start to choose. And you can start to choose the thoughts that are of the higher frequency, and decide for yourself in every moment of every day, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What's in my highest excitement? What thought right now brings me higher? What thought? See, because we're so in the mundane, right? Actually, I put down You may never do laundry again if you're living from your highest excitement, but that's not true. I was actually pretty excited to do my laundry when I got home and get everything put away. That makes me feel good. It's the end result that makes me feel good. I'm excited to clean my kitchen so that I can walk into my kitchen and it's beautiful. So there's ways, right? There's ways to do those things and to feel more excitement about them because of what we get at the end of it. Um, so living in that highest excitement is really asking yourself in every moment, instead of being in the mundane to-do list, that 60,000 thought to-do list, or the energies of the past, of the things that happen that make you mad, instead of doing that, living from resentment and all that yucky energy, it's like, where can I bring my thoughts higher right now? What would bring me more excitement to think about? What would bring me more excitement to do? What do I really want to do right now? It's funny, when my friend and I were doing this in Connecticut, I'm like, all right, what's in our highest excitement? Sometimes the answer was, hey, let's go back and lay in the sun on the dock. Hey, let's go kayaking. Hey, let's go walk down the street and look at the beautiful houses. It wasn't always like, something that you think would be the most exciting thing to do. Oftentimes it's kicking down a little bit. For my husband and I, sometimes we'll go, what's in our highest excitement on a Friday night? And we'll go, it's having some filet mignon and having a driveway party or just watching TV. Like, it's just relaxing together. It's being together. It's being home. So it doesn't have to be this crazy thing, because we get on these like merry-go-rounds or these roller coasters in life where we're constantly trying to run away from ourselves. So we're like overscheduling and we're super busy. And because of that, we don't take the time to be. So once you start meditating and really bringing your energy into yourself, right? Like your internal world, you won't have to run around so much. You will be content with, my friend does this all the time. She sits there with the deer. She's got like this group of deer that hang out with her. We're like, you're freaking Snow White, like hanging out with the deer or laying with the cat, or, just reading a book, like just chilling back a little bit so that you're not such a human doing, but you're more of a human being, and you can connect with that internal spiritual world that's going to bring you so much more. It's alchemy, baby. That's what it is. Alchemy. So my husband recently, when we were driving to the airport, we were coming up with like, because I'm going to start doing these workshops and seminars, and it's like, well, how do we want to formulate it, and what do we want to call it, and what do I really do for people? I think that's what this workshop thing that I just went to is like clarifying, like, what do I really do for you? Like, what do I do for people? Like, what do I teach? Like, what is this all about? Like, how do I clarify that? Right. And we came up with being an alchemist. Basically, it's alchemy. It's helping people to turn their lives of misery into lives of joy. It's helping people to focus on the good so that they can turn away from the things that aren't working and start to take their attention away from it, so that you can heal, so that you can become more, so that you can expand and grow, so that you can live a life of passion and joy. I want more people on this journey. I want more people that are living in the higher vibrations of life, because it makes our world a better place. It makes our families better. It makes our kids better. It makes our society as a whole better when we're not so gloom and doom and listening to a narrative that doesn't allow us to reach the higher vibrations. So living in your highest excitement is just asking, what would I love to do right now? What would bring me the highest excitement right now? That's what Fun Friday is about a lot for us. What would be fun to do today? What do we really want to do today? And then getting us all on the same page can be fun, but it's just it's taking stock in life, and it's acknowledging the fact that we're here for a moment. And don't we want that moment to be the best moment there is? Always and forever. Seriously. It's up to you. It's absolutely up to you. All right, you guys, that's my show for today. I love you so much. I'm still doing the podcast. It was in my highest excitement to do this today, to share all the wonderful things that have been going on and to speak to you in a deeper way than I do on my TV show. Because we've been on a journey together for a while, and the numbers are good. You guys are listening, you're sharing, it's growing, and we're in it to win it. So live from your highest excitement, and I'll see you next time. Love y'all. Peace.